This is the scope of this function. The variables created within the scope of a function are local to that function, meaning they cannot be accessed outside the function. To explain this, I will use a program that does not work. Understanding why it would not work will give you an insight about local variables. For an unsuspecting programmer who is new to functions, this program might seem legitimate. In the main function definition, we have a call to add function. So we go to the add function's definition. In the add function scope, we have variables num1 and num2 initialized with those values, which are added and printed. After reaching the end of the function, Python interpreter returns back to the function call, and then next we have a call to subtract function. You might be thinking that the variables num1 and num2 are still in the computer memory, but right after we get to the line where we try to use these variables, Python interpreter throws an error. Going forward, when you see these error messages in red font, observe them closely. They give you enough information to identify where the issue might be. As you can see here, the output inside add function is displayed successfully. The traceback for this error shows that inside main function and inside subtract function at the line val equals to num1 minus num2, the name num1 is not defined. Python interpreter did not even bother to check about num2. It decided to throw the error immediately when it realized num1 is not defined. Why would that be? Didn't we already initialize it in the add function? Well, you know the answer already. The local variables num1 and num2 are cleared right after the function finishes executing. Hence, if we try to access them elsewhere, we are going to land in some trouble. But what if you want to access a variable across several functions in your program? There is a way to do that, but I'm flashing danger lights about what I'm going to show you. I'm showing this only for information purposes, and I highly discourage anyone in CS21 from using global variables. Anyways, here is how you do it. By sending num1 and num2 to the top of your program outside the functions, you'll be making them available to all the functions in your program. Let's see what happens when we run this program. It runs well, but I'll show you where the trouble starts. If you try to reassign a global variable inside a function with a different value and expect it to be updated globally, then you're mistaken. Here is the interesting output displayed by this program. Inside the add function, num1 variable got assigned with a value of 7. So it prints 7 plus 3 is 10. Because num1 is a global variable, the subtract function, when executed, should have printed 7 minus 3 is 4, but nope. Num1 still has the value 5. If you want to reassign the value in a global variable inside a function, you have to explicitly mention it to Python interpreter that this particular variable is global by adding the global keyword in front of it. Now if I execute this, it's gonna run as expected. All this is extra baggage for your program. You can implement programs successfully without ever using global variables. And by the end of next 2 weeks, we will try to get you there. I must admit, there is an exception to defining values outside the functions. It is when you're going to use constants across all your functions. Look at this example where we use the value of pi multiple times across different functions. Global constants are meant to be constants, so it makes sense to create them outside the functions and make them available globally. Hence, global constants are okay, but global variables are not okay. They add unnecessary complexity to the programs and make code reuse almost impossible. Here is a quick review of what we saw. Variables defined inside the function are local to that function. If you want to access the same variable across different functions, you can do that, but it is highly discouraged. You will learn how to cleverly design your functions to work seamlessly without ever using global variables. You can always use global constants whenever required in your programs.